The 2026 World Cup is happening right now, the biggest sporting event in human history, spread across 3 countries, the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Hundreds of millions of people watching, billions more following online. Every match, every goal, every sliding tackle, the boots are right there on screen. But here's the question nobody asks. Who made those boots? Not Nike, not Adidas, not Puma. Those brands design the boot, they market the boot, they sign the athlete who wears the boot, but they do not make the boot. Welcome. I'm Stacy, and this is INTROCORP by S. INTROCORP is a company stories series. Every episode we take one company, usually one that most people have never heard of, and we explain exactly what it does, why it matters, and how it fits into the larger picture of the world economy. No jargon, no stock price targets, just a story backed by data. Here's SPORTSGEAR at a glance. The company was founded in 1992 in Taipei. Its headquarters later moved to Taichung, Taiwan, and it went public on the Taiwan Stock Exchange on April 22, 2021, under ticker 6768. It began life as a trading company, then made a decisive pivot, becoming a pure-play OEM manufacturer in 2000. Today, its reach is genuinely global, 7 factories across 4 countries: Vietnam, Cambodia, Indonesia, and Portugal, with 5 plants in Vietnam alone. All told, roughly 32,000 employees work across those sites. And here's the headline that frames everything else. SPORTSGEAR is the world's largest dedicated soccer shoe OEM, focused purely on manufacturing since the year 2000. Keep that phrase, pure play, in mind. It's the key to the whole story. So what exactly is a pure-play sports footwear OEM? Let's break the model into 3 steps. Step 1, the brand's design. Nike, Adidas, and Puma own the creative vision, the silhouettes, the colorways, the tech specs, and the athlete storytelling. Step 2, sports gear manufacturers. This is where the company lives. Its factories across Taiwan, Vietnam, and Indonesia execute at more than 40 million pairs a year, with pro-grade quality on every single cleat. Step 3, global retail. The finished boots ship under the brand's label and reach pitches everywhere, from Doha to Dallas. The crucial insight is what SPORTSGEAR does not do. It never designs its own brand, never opens its own stores, and never competes with its customers. That neutrality is exactly why 7+ rival brands trust it with their most important product. Now let's talk scale, because the numbers here are striking. Start with this. 1 in every 5 soccer shoes on Earth is made by SPORTSGEAR. That's roughly a 21% share of the entire global market, from a single company most people have never heard of. Production runs at 40 to 43 million pairs a year across 8 manufacturing units worldwide, and is growing fast. Revenue jumped nearly 50% year over year, with the most recent quarter hitting 6,008 million new Taiwan dollars, the strongest in years. For full year 2024, consolidated revenue reached 20.37 billion new Taiwan dollars, about 574 million US dollars. Behind all of it stand those 32,000 employees. The takeaway is simple. SPORTSGEAR powers the boots of the world's biggest sport, and it's scaling up at exactly the right moment, which sets up everything we cover next. Scale alone doesn't explain the moat. The real edge is manufacturing know-how, and it shows up in 4 ways. First, lightweight engineering. Ultra-thin knit uppers and carbon fiber plates tuned for pro-level performance at volume. Second, stud geometry. Precision outsole molding calibrated for every surface: firm ground, soft ground, and turf. Third, scale plus quality held together. 40 million plus pairs a year without sacrificing consistency. And fourth, multi-brand flexibility, running production for 7+ competing brands at once, behind a strict IP firewall. That last point is the clincher. Think of it like TSMC, but for boots. Rivals hand their designs to the same factory because they trust the separation between them. Bottom line, deep cleat know-how lets one plant build for 7+ rivals without compromise. Decades of expertise compressed into every cleat. That capability wasn't built overnight. It's the product of 30+ years of deliberate expansion. It began in 1992 in Taipei as a humble trading company, the seed of the empire. In 2000, the first overseas factory opened in Vietnam, the first dedicated offshore plant. Then in 2010 came Cambodia, home to the group's single largest factory. Between 2011 and 2018, a 4-factory expansion across Vietnam diversified production for Nike, Puma, Asics, and Brooks. More recently, in March 2025, the Porto Innovation Lab opened in Portugal, a European hub producing 180 to 200,000 pairs a month. And in October 2025, a new plant in Indonesia began adding 12 million pairs of capacity by 2027. Added up, 8 production units, 5 countries, over 3 decades. That geographic spread is exactly what makes the scale so hard to copy. Of course, sports gear isn't alone. Let's look at the competitive landscape among Taiwan's OEM peers. There's the ticker 9904 group, the largest overall footwear OEM, spanning many brands and categories, with April 2026 revenue around 22.3 billion new Taiwan dollars. There's the ticker 9910 group, a Nike-focused premium manufacturer with a deep single-brand relationship at about 6.8 billion new Taiwan dollars. And there's a running shoe specialist under ticker 6890, built around Hoka and Adidas. So where does sports gear stand out? 4 ways. It's soccer first, with roughly 80% of output in soccer shoes, unmatched depth versus generalist peers. It's perfectly timed for the 2026 World Cup. It has new Indonesian capacity ramping right now, and is pivoting into running with Asics and Brooks. The one-line summary: peers are broader, but sports gear is deeper. The only pure-play soccer shoe OEM at this scale. Now, who actually buys all these boots? The client roster is dominated by 2 giants. Number 1 is Adidas, which alone accounts for 58.5% of revenue, served by dedicated factories in Vietnam and Cambodia. Number 2 is Nike at 27.7%, with its own dedicated capacity in Vietnam. Beyond them sits a growing pipeline: Puma, Asics, and Brooks, together about 12% and rising, plus that Portugal lab courting new European brands. Put the top 2 together and you get roughly 86% of revenue from just 2 customers. That concentration cuts both ways. It's a powerful moat. Deep, dedicated relationships rivals can't easily pry loose. But it's also the single biggest risk in the whole story, and it's one we'll come right back to. Let's consolidate the bull case into 3 pillars of advantage. Pillar 1. It's specialized. This is 100% soccer and running shoe manufacturing and nothing else. Every process, every tool, every worker exists to build the world's best soccer shoes at scale. Pillar 2. It's a trusted partner. It makes for Nike, Adidas, Puma, and others simultaneously, with strict IP separation between competing clients. Again, the TSMC of soccer shoes, where rivals trust the very same factory. Pillar 3. Cycle timing. The World Cup every 4 years is a demand supercycle, a near guaranteed global order surge. And 2026 is the biggest edition in history, hosted by the USA, Canada, and Mexico, with projected revenue roughly double Qatar 2022. Bottom line, soccer-only focus plus World Cup timing sets up a real 2026 demand surge. No honest story is complete without the risks, so here's a balanced view. 3 tensions and the other side of each. First, customer concentration. Adidas and Nike together are 86% of revenue. The hedge? A running shoe pivot, where Brooks and ASICS growth cut soccer's cyclicality. Second, geopolitics and tariffs. More than 85% of production sits in Vietnam and Cambodia. The offset there is the Indonesia ramp-up, adding 12 million new pairs by 2027 and spreading that exposure. Third, capital intensity. This business demands billions in new capex. The counterweight is the Portugal Innovation Lab, a European beachhead into higher margin markets. So the honest bottom line, brand concentration is the real risk, while the running shoe expansion and Indonesia growth are the hedge. A great company, but not a riskless one. And that's POC Now EP1. If you enjoyed this deep dive, subscribe to INTROCORP by S. Company stories backed by data, told with insight. We keep it grounded in real numbers, so you always walk away understanding how the business truly works. SPORTSGEAR, ticker 6768, is one to watch as the 2026 World Cup happened across the USA, Canada, and Mexico. Thanks so much for watching.